25 years ago this month, a band of foreigners landed on our shores, and the country hasn't been quite the same since. Tonight on Inside Sunday, the Beatle invasion and how the impact is still being felt today. From the moment John, Paul, George, and Ringo shouted, "I want to hold your hand," they had young America in their grip.
What appeals to you about the Beatles?
The fact that they're British and that they're very talented without knowing how to read a word of music, and they have a good sense of humor. They're ordinary boys.
Four ordinary boys from Britain who stepped off the plane and into the culture.
The Beatles all of a sudden, boom, they were there, and everybody was talking about them.
Tell you something, I think you'll understand.
Pop music had never been so popular. It was a combination of things. Television helped. They were foreign and exotic. Yet somehow not as threatening as the rock and roll that came before them. Elvis had fans, but nothing like this.
They gave a generation a sense of itself as a generation. People could look around at each other and say, we're special, we're different.
I'll give you all I've got to give.
It was their songs, mostly written by Lennon and McCartney, that seemed to offer limitless possibilities to a youth culture feeling its importance for the first time.
I don't care too much for money, money can buy me love.
And they are youth, and they stand up and say, you know, we have intelligent things to say about what it means to be young in today's modern world.
Life ought to be as exciting, as full of emotion, as a Beatles song. People really began to think that.
It's been a hard day's night.
They gave new meaning to making it big. They were even playing themselves in the movies, making themselves more popular still, and in the process, selling more records. During their 7-year reign together, they changed the focus of the recording industry, from singles to albums. Their music helped define a youthful generation of change, and it's been able to move through time. The generation they helped define is getting older, but their songs seem ageless. A quarter of a century ago, the sounds of rock blared out of transistor radios. Now they come at us from television sets. And you can trace that back to the Beatles and their movies. John Blackstone reports now on today's music video, it was the Beatles who let it be.
Okay, guys, let's set it up. First positions, please.
Just as the music industry in the 1960s was transformed by the Beatles, so too has it been transformed in the 1980s. Not by a new group, but by a new art form, the rock video.
Crank up the beat, boys, baby. Don't let the music stop. We go right it.
As a marketing tool, I think it's probably the biggest single marketing tool that the music has got.
All you do is call me.
Music videos are pushing creative and technological limits, testing the ability and the willingness of the public to look at things in new ways, in faster ways.
Kiss.
The rock video directors have had more flexibility, have been able to be more adventurous.
Rock video directors are now seeing others follow the paths that they have broken.
This is using that technique, style, to make a commercial.
Your life. I said, wait, isn't there something I can do, something I can change? She says, no. I said, wait, what if I get you Memorex CP8 Universal Remote Control?
For a rock video, if you would have said, this is what I want to do with your product, they would have gone, oh my gosh, you know, what is this? You know, what is this style?
If the style is being used to sell all kinds of things, the music videos themselves have become absolutely crucial to the selling of rock records.
You can survive, you know, a bad single as a musician, but it's very, very hard to overcome a bad video. It can actually be the kiss of death.
It's still the records themselves that actually bring in the money, but the promotional value of a video now outweighs just about anything else in the struggle to make it on the charts.
That's the breaks, that's the 80s, and that's rock and roll.
And rock and roll today, it seems, has to be seen to be believed. John Blackstone, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Today, rock is selling a whole lot more than just records, CDs, and videos. We'll have that story when Inside Sunday continues in a moment.
for Post Natural Brand Flakes Lena Horne on getting the best out of life.
Taking care of my voice, body, and taste buds is what keeps the brass in this horn.
Reach for the best tasting high fiber Brand Flake. Post Brand Flakes at their best.
I love them dearly, but I love them 25% less than I used to.
I can't tell you how much I love these guys, but I can tell you it's 25% less than before.
Love your family 25% less with Fleischmann's Light. 25% less saturated fat, salt, and calories than regular margarine. Zero cholesterol and 100% delicious.
I love him with all my heart, but today that's 25% less.
Fleischmann's Light. Love your family 25% less.
You're on your way.
Who would have figured it? I grow up in the city and end up testing products for the farm. Like this one from Dow. We study its effects in the classroom and check the results in the field. It yields more food, more profits for family farmers, and greater groundwater protection. But Dow gave me a grant to find out how to make it work even better. You know, I like being a city kid working in a cornfield.
Dow lets you do great things.
I need home cooking.
Okay, try Swanson's home-style lasagna entree. Spicy tomato sauce, 3 layers of pasta, choice beef, and cottage, ricotta, and mozzarella cheeses.
Can we see a replay on that?
The Beatles made millions selling their records to baby boomers. The boomers have long since grown up, but they are still buying. And now, as Jonathan Sanders reports, it's Madison Avenue that's playing their song.
Advertisers are just beginning to tune into the upscale potential of a generation that came of age with the Beatles. And Madison Avenue realizes that the Woodstock Nation has aged. This year, for the first time, people over 35 outnumber the rest of the nation. And baby boomers, those people born in the 20 years after World War II, have become America's dominant spending force. The generation of flower power and peace marches now has more than $1 trillion in annual income.
They're the people buying the cars, they're the people buying the cereals, they're the people buying the diapers, they're the people really, they're buying all this stuff. They're the market that everybody wants.
So to reach a market of people with sensibilities shaped in the 60s, advertisers are using the music that made that era special. One firm chose a song composed to celebrate hippie love.
It's a very, very, very fine house.
The song from the 60s immediately evokes presumably some happy memories, and some positive vibes go back and forth between the couch potato and TV screen, and makes them more susceptible to the message that's just about to hit them between the eyes.
It's also a generation that still values direct messages. For example, the reality of aging.
I don't intend to grow old gracefully.
Oil of Olay.
I'm fighting it every step of the way. Really.
I have a feeling that these people are trying to get more out of their lives. And that's what, and they're approaching that with the same vigor that they approached rebellion in the 60s.
And advertisers are moving with the same vigor to capitalize on a generation that will continue to be the most lucrative market in America, even as its youthfulness fades into the mists of memory. Jonathan Sanders, CBS News, New York.
Incidentally, former Beatle George Harrison is up for a Grammy Award this week for Best Video Concept. His video is called When He Was Fab, and it recalls the days when Harrison was one of the Fab Four.